Hi, you're welcome back to the part 2 of our blazer dress. On today's video, we're going to sew the patterns we drafted last week. Like I explained to you in the video that I was going to make the sewing part today, and that's why I'm here to explain in detail, step by step, on how to go about making this lovely dress. Please ensure to subscribe, like and share my videos. If you have not joined the family, please subscribe to my channel and ensure to always share out my videos. I really appreciate this, and thank you so much for always keeping it real with me. So let's go straight into today's video. So you've already seen all the components of this pattern, okay, from the main bodies to the collar and to the two-piece sleeve, the top and the bottom sleeves. Then we also have a back pattern as well as the center front and the side front. Okay, so I've explained all of this in my previous video. Okay, right, so we're going to start by sewing up all the main fabrics. What I mean is we're going to sew the front piece. Okay, like we have the front and the lining piece, so we're going to sew the front piece first, then we'll now sew the same way on the lining piece, then we'll now join them together to make our dress. Okay, follow this pattern to make the little pleats that we'll have on that point. Okay, so when we make those pleats, right, then we'll sew the side front to it. Okay, then we'll now also make on the facing bits. Okay, and we'll now move to the main body. Right, so let's start. Just watch closely and see how I'm going to be sewing this step by step. Okay, so I've sewn the center front and the side front. Okay, so next we'll sew our sleeves. Okay, I already have a video on how to sew this two-piece sleeve. Okay, so it's just basically you just join the top to the bottom part of the sleeve, that's all. Okay, so I'll just join the two of them now. Now we'll go ahead and sew our shoulder darts. Okay, so like you know, I've just marked that point on the fabric. Okay, so we'll just follow it. It's ½ inch at the top, so when you get to that point, you just pinch out ¼ inch. Then when we get to the waistline, we'll just do a ½ inch in and ½ inch out. Okay, so it's important to mark it on fabric as well. Just follow it. Then on the other side, we just marked on the waistline. Okay, so we'll just go ahead to fold and sew up the darts. Next we'll join our back patterns. Okay, so for the back, you know, we left 1 inch on that point. Okay, so we're going to sew up that 1 inch, and we're going to leave out about 6 inches on this point for our slits. Right, so we don't want a very wide slit, we just want something moderate. Okay, so by the time we fold out our hemming allowance on that point, we'll now measure the length of slit we want. We're working with just 6-inch slits. Okay, if you want a slit that will be more than 6 inch, just consider extending it to what the length you want. Okay, so I'm working with that of 6 inches. Okay, because we don't want very wide slits. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make our back stitch on that point just to tighten it up. All right, so we'll start from the top and sew to the bottom. There will be no closure at the back. No, there will be no closure at the back. It will just be closed on that point. I'll show you where the closure will be. We have our back pattern, so just relax it. You can sew that point. You can just iron this out. We're going to align this shoulder on this point. But before then, we'll have to make our side darts on the back piece as well. Okay, remember the point we marked, so we're going to follow it and make our side darts on the back. So when we make the side darts on our back pattern, we will now align this shoulder. As you can see, this one is already looking smaller because we've not done the back dart. By the time we do it, it will now adjust and become equal. Okay, so when we do that, we'll align this shoulder and pin it in place because we're going to sew this shoulder. Then for the other side as well, which is the center front, we're going to also sew this shoulder. Okay, so we'll sew this and this to the back piece. Okay, so we'll join this shoulder and this one. I've sewn the shoulders, okay, of the front piece. Right, that's it. So now we'll just sew the collar as well for the middle piece. So after sewing up the collar, we'll just attach our sleeves. Okay, like I told you that when we're doing the two-piece sleeve, you need to find out which of the sleeve goes where based on how they are curved. Okay, you can see this one is curved this way and this one is curved the other way, so you just align them where they belong, pin them in place and sew them up. Okay, so before we sew the sleeves, we need to close up the side. Okay, so we'll shape to our normal fit. When we finish that, then we'll now pin the sleeves and sew them. Okay, and that will be it for the front piece. Then we'll now move over to the side piece. One thing to note when sewing this front piece is that on this point, that's on this side, on the right side, we're going to add an invisible zipper on the waistline. Okay, so when you're sewing this part, you just leave out about 8 to 10 inches depending on the length of zipper you're using for that point. Okay, so we'll just leave it out and start at this point to close up our sides. Okay, so we'll just attach, when we close up the sides, we'll attach the sleeves, then we'll move to the lining piece. When we're finished this main piece, we'll do same thing we've done here, we'll do them on the lining piece. Then we'll now couple all that, we'll now bring them together to continue our dress. So I've sewn all the front piece as well as the lining one. Okay, let me just show you what it looks like. So I've closed up the side, which is the left side. Okay, but what I've not done is to close the right hand side. That's the part where the jacket is. I've not closed it, I've left it open, but every other side I've closed them. And I've also sewn my slit. Okay, I've left my slit open, I've closed the back, I've closed basically everywhere except the right side, so it's still dangling there. Okay, and I've also sewn, so this is what it looks like. Okay, and I've also sewn the lining. So this is the lining piece. Okay, the lining is just the opposite of the main one. Okay, you understand what I mean? The front is the opposite of the lining piece. What I mean is, okay, this is the right side and this is the left. So the right side is sewn inside out. Okay, so this is where it comes on the right, but it's sewn inside out. Okay, because the lining piece will face the main one. So even the sleeve, you have to place the left on the right and the right on the left. Okay, and it has to be inside out. So that's just the difference between the two. And I've also closed that side and leaving out the right side as well. Okay, now you can see the right side is open. I've done the slits, I've done the darts, everything. Just like it is on the front piece. Okay, I've also done same on the lining piece. So now we're going to join these two together to form our dress. Okay, and to do this, we'll just face this, our lining piece, we'll turn it that way. Okay, then we'll turn our main dress, which is the front piece. Okay, we'll turn it the wrong way as well. Okay, so the right way will face the right way of the lining piece. I left out a space at the back. Okay, at the back of the lining piece I left about let me say 10-inch space on the back. So this is where we're going to turn the whole thing out from. Okay, then we'll now close it. Like just watch closely and see how we go about this. Okay, so I'm placing the main dress on the lining piece like so. Okay, so that's it, and we're going to align all the points. We're going to align all of them and sew them together. Okay, so now we're starting with the right side, which is where we left out open. Okay, you know we didn't sew that point, so we left it open. So we're going to start from there. Okay, so align that bottom together and we'll sew. When we get to the slit, right, when we get to the slit, we'll continue. We'll cross over to the other side. Okay, we'll align that point and continue going. So when we get to the side, we'll align them and still continue. Okay, so we'll continue like that. Okay, we'll continue until we get to that side. Okay, so when we get there, we'll leave that. That means we've done the bottom. When we do the bottom, then we'll now sew this point. Look, the waistline, that's the remaining part. This is the part with the lapel, and that's the part with just the waistline. You understand what I mean? Okay, so we're going to, by the time we sew the bottom of all these things, when we pull it further, you can see that the lining piece, the main fabric, will have this fold that allows your lining to start halfway. You understand what I mean? Okay, so when we now do that, then we're going to sew from this point. Okay, we'll align the darts, then we'll sew until we get to that point. Then we'll continue with the lapel, we'll get that way, and we'll get to the collar. We'll sew the lapel, we'll sew on the collar, then we'll continue and sew all the way around the collar. Then we'll sew to that notched part and continue that way, right? So then we'll keep going until we sew the other side of the lapel as well. Then when we get to this point, you remember our pleats, right? So that's the time to make our pleats. We're making the pleats only on the top piece, just exactly how it is on the pattern. Okay, so I don't need to bore you with so much detail. You just make those pleats like so, right? So when you make that, you now align the top and the lining piece and keep sewing. Okay, when you align that, they should meet at that point. Then you continue, you sew until you get to that point. Okay, then you end just there. So that's where we are going to stop. So let's just do that, then we'll continue. Okay, so we've sewn around our dress. We'll just flip through now. We'll just flip over to the right side and see what we've got. Then we'll continue from there. The next thing up now is to sew our sleeves. Okay, as you can see, the lining piece and the main sleeve are still on their own. They've not been sewn together. So we'll pass our hand through, as in between the lining and the main piece. Okay, we'll just pass our hand through there and fetch those two wrist points of the sleeves out from there. Okay, align these two, align them like so, and we're going to sew them. Okay, so we'll align this, pin it in place, then we'll pin this other side as well. So we'll just pin it all around. Okay, pin it all around like so. Okay, then we're going to sew around. We're going to sew around this sleeve. So that's it. Right, as you can see, they are facing each other. We'll just sew it around. Then on the other one as well, we're going to do same thing. Okay, so to close up the remaining side of this dress, we need to just align our jacket side. Okay, to align the right side of the blazer down there. Then we're going to also align our waist, the other bottom parts of that starts from the waistline. You understand what I mean? So we'll align that on that point and ensure the edges meet. Okay, then we'll sew from here our 1 inch seam allowance. So we're going to sew to the end. When we get to that bottom, we'll cross over to the other side. Okay, then we'll continue sewing on the lining piece until we get back to the point where we marked for our closure. Okay, so now we're going to also close up the slits. Remember the slits we made at the back. So it's very simple to do this. You just fold that. Then you're going to use a needle and thread to make some tacks, okay, around, just so like you're hemming the bottom of your pants. You know what I mean? So just tack on those points, okay, or you can make a straight stitch. Okay, just make a top stitch on that point at the edge, just to sew up the lining piece and the main piece. But I'll be using needle and thread anyway because it makes it neater. So the final place now is the hip line. Okay, this is the point where our zipper will be, right? So to end this part up, we're going to use this blazer part to align with the back piece. Okay, so this is it goes on the back piece, right? So we just continue this until we get to that back portion. Okay, then we'll continue the other side as well. We're going to close that up on that point. Okay, so the front and the back, the blazer will now be sorted. You understand what I mean? So once we've done that, we're going to now do our closure with this remaining part of the waistline. Do you understand what I mean? So that when you now fix your jacket part like so, then we'll sew the zip. This is our zipper. We're using an invisible zipper. So to use this invisible zipper, the other side of the zipper is going to run on this part of our dress, while the other side is going to run between these two lining pieces. Okay, and then when we finish all of that, we're now going to close up this back point. Okay, so that anytime we have any repair or any adjustments to make on this dress, on any part of this dress, the only place we can go in from is through this back. Okay, so we're just going to either you grab this on that point and make a tiny top stitch towards the edge, or you use your needle and thread as well, just the way we will do on the slits, and just close it up. So that's all for this dress. That's how easy it is to make this dress. Okay, so I'll just fix my zipper now and I'll show you what this dress looks like. Okay, then one very last thing is the button. Now we're going to fix our button on this point. Okay, you fix one button on that point. We're going to fix more. You can fix as many buttons as you want. Okay, so that will be it. I'll just fix the buttons and the zipper and show you how the dress came out. Okay, so that's all about the dress. Thank you so much for creating time to watch this video. Please give it a thumbs up. I hope to see you in my next video. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.